What is going on, people? Scuba Steve here, bringing you episode 8 of the one and only Supernatural podcast on the Project Louder Network. Somewhat supernatural. I'm not going to say it's fully supernatural. It's just somewhat supernatural, as TJ likes to remind me. It's not a full paranormal podcast, although we really don't do a lot of debunking on here. So, we're going to lean towards more the supernatural part of it. As always, I want to introduce the man, my beautiful friend from Dark Side Paranormal, my brother from another mother, the one, the only, and Joe. How's it going, Joe?
What's man? It's going great. Little cold outside today, but man,
I know, but
good.
we can't complain about the cold, because
True.
we're in South Texas, so it rarely gets cold here. Cold to us is like the 50s, and we're like, holy shit, we have to bust out our parkas. But now our guest knows a little bit something about cold, because I'm sure it's cold on his part of the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest host, the beautiful Officer Bobby Aimone.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? And by the way, it's fucking cold here. It's cold.
What temperature is it right now?
Well, I mean, not like, I guess it's got to be in the 30s right now. I literally haven't been outside for, I don't know, it had to be about 4 or 5 hours. But when it was easily 30 something degrees. And we still have like 15 inches of snow on the ground.
See, we're in the same boat then, because we're in the 30s right now also, but we don't have any snow. You know what I mean? We don't have any snow going on, which we were hopeful for. It doesn't snow, but I mean, it snowed maybe 3 times.
You sometimes maybe get like what, little glimpses maybe?
I want to say it snowed maybe twice my entire 38 years on this living in Corpus. It's only snowed like twice. And so we don't get snow a lot, so when it does snow, we get excited because we're like, holy shit, it's cold. But then it's gone by noon. Like, this is no, we get it, it'll be freezing temperatures, and then by noon it's gone and everything's back to normal. So, from the chat, Brody Kane, how's it going? Our favorite cunt from down under. How's it going, man?
The one and only Brody. It's wonderful to see him tonight, and I usually see him on Mondays.
Always Mondays. So those of you that don't know, which I'm sure everybody knows, Bobby, he is one of the hosts of one of my favorite podcasts, Gore and More. I love Gore and More. You guys can catch Gore and More right here on the Project Louder Network. The boys are always doing great things. And sometimes they're like, hey, Scuba, jump on. Like this past Monday when, Bowser was like, hey, Steve, jump on. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, sure. Why not? While they were in the middle of the podcast.
Have Steve with us. And it's always a pleasure to be with Steve.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Bobby. I'm glad I got you here, because today we are talking about the Jersey Devil. And when I brought this to the group chat, I wanted to ask you from the get-go, but I kind of just snuck it in there, without saying, hey, Bobby, be on my podcast. I kind of knew. So I just kind of weaseled it and, threw hints out there when you were like, I would love to fucking do it. I was like, fuck yeah, that's badass.
Well, literally all I saw was you say Jersey Devil. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I know about this story.
And you live in Jersey, so it's even better. You know what I mean? So what better way to, what better guest? I can't think of anybody else better to have.
Other than maybe somebody who's lived in the Pine Barrens.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. You probably can't get any closer.
Yeah. But I don't know anybody that lives in the Pine Barrens, or that has lived in the Pine Barrens. And we're gonna get into that too. So before we jump right into it, have you ever had any kind of paranormal experience at all, Bobby? Anything paranormal, ghosts, goblins, witches, any experience with the Jersey Devil, anything at all that you would consider paranormal?
Never with the Jersey Devil, other than the stories.
Yeah.
But I've had one paranormal experience that stood out because I was young. I was 10 years old at the time, and I had my bed caddy cornered in my room, so it faced the door. So this is maybe 9 o'clock at night. I'll keep it short, but 9 o'clock at night.
Go as long as you want, man.
Oh, okay. So 9 o'clock at night, I was watching TV, and in my doorway, I saw like a little like black. I'm like, okay, what the hell is in the hallway here? And then I turned away. I looked back, and you know how you could see like the cutoff at the bottom, and you just see like the body come up to the shoulders, and then it comes up to a head.
Mhm.
That was the basic outline I saw. Black.
Okay.
And the facial features weren't scary, but they were diluted. It was a man's face.
Okay.
And he was looking into the room. I remember it, but it didn't scare me. It made me just kind of like question what was really happening.
Yeah.
And then he was looking. 5 seconds later, I saw him turn and he walked down the hallway. And down the hallway is the bathroom. But in the middle of the hallway, you hear that creak in the floor, that and I looked down the hallway, nothing there.
Huh.
That is probably one of the ones that one stands out the most.
Yeah.
I don't really remember too many others, but I totally always have believed in the paranormal 100%.
Yeah, and and that makes a lot of sense. If you ask, Brody said it was Bill Cosby. Get out of
Brody,
there.
all I know is I saw him go like this.
He was like, "Come and get this little pudding pop I got for you." But no, so when we're kids, that's when we tend to see a lot of paranormal things, things we can't explain. But to us as kids, because our minds are so open and we're not corrupted yet, so our minds and our eyes, we can see so many different things. I know I've seen, shit, people would probably think I'm insane. And they probably do think I'm insane with all the stories that I tell on here. But it's literally legit things that I have seen. I've seen ghosts and shadows and lechusas and, everything that
man.
The Hat Man. Oh man, that is that literally is what drew me to wanting to do a paranormal podcast, was my experience with shadow people. Because to me, there's nothing more frightening than waking up, not being able to move,
something there.
And seeing something there. Exactly. And feeling that menacing feeling, that just you can't do anything, that helplessness, all you can do is you lay there, you close your eyes and just hope that whatever is there isn't going to fucking kill you in your sleep, So
well, yeah,
it's very believable with stuff. And I love that I get you guys on here and you guys are able to give your experiences as well, because like I've said from the very beginning of my show, I believe everybody has had some kind of paranormal experience, whether they know it or not. So you've witnessed something paranormal,
And in my house, I'm not the only, my mother, who just whispered to me, because I forgot, there was multiple, because she had, I think, 2 experiences, and it was with the man who lived here, which was also mine. I think he died in this house, but he wasn't bad. He was just the man who lived here before we came in.
Yeah,
so I know she had a couple. I had my one. I think just between the two of us. Then again, my brother probably did too. But so it was always the same person. There was never any like bad juju in the house.
Well,
if anything, my room keeps that away. For horror reasons. So, but between the two of us, we have had those experiences. Yes.
Yeah. No. And when somebody does, somebody's lived in a place for so long and they pass either at that place or somewhere else, but their heart is longing to be in that place. A lot of times their spirits will manifest there and, stay there. And, either they know they're dead and they're just going to keep doing what they do, or they don't know they're dead and they're just stuck on a loop, so, but it seems like it's not anything that is out to harm you or anything. You know what I mean? Especially if everybody's had different encounters with him and it's not been anything violent.
Not yet in the past 30 years here. So we've been lucky.
Yeah. And 30 years, if you've been there 30 years and nothing violence happened yet, then you're doing something right.
I would say we're okay here.
Yeah. So well, that's good. And that's it. Nothing else that comes to mind. No,
not from,
UFOs, because all of that is paranormal.
Other than kind of, the thing is, the paranormal ones, for some reason, that one was very vivid.
Yeah.
I'm sure there have been more, but I couldn't think of them right now. If you asked, scary experience.
Nope. Bobby dropped out.
Yeah, he froze.
Bobo. All right, Bobby
Did
froze.
something.
You froze there, bud. All right. So we're gonna jump into the topic right now. I'll shoot Bobby a message here and see.
I just hold on.
Okay,
Keep going.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
there it is. It
He
happens.
said, hold on.
If you've ever seen the Gore and More podcast, you know that this happens. It's cool. It's not a big deal. It happens. That's show business, baby. You just got to keep
Look,
the show
Give me
going.
1 second.
Not a problem.
Hold on.
Not a problem.
Keep going.
You're good, brother. You're good.
Hey, Mike's in the chat.
Oh,
man,
look at that.
baby.
Oh, look at that man, baby. Mike Salazar. He's probably a little upset because I didn't invite him to the podcast tonight, but I had Bobby on already, so I didn't need a third. Sorry, Mikey. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. So I just want to say what's up to all of you guys once again joining in for episode 8 of Somewhat Supernatural, where we will be discussing the Jersey Devil with my horror brother from mother, Bobby Aimone.
Okay.
So Joe, what's been going on, Joe? What did you have doing this week?
This week, it's Valentine's Day this weekend. So, reminder to both of you.
I don't have anything, so I'm not worried.
Hey, man, those days were the best.
Yes, they were. Yes. You know, I don't really do Valentine's Day, man. I mean, it's kind of like why? What's the point? You know,
it's a made up holiday for gifts.
It's a cash cow. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
The boys did review. The boys did review My Bloody Valentine this past Monday on the Gore and More podcast. So if you get a chance to check it out, go back and check it out. Listen on the you can either listen to it, the audio version on projectlouder.net, or you can watch the video version, the sexy version as I call it, right on Facebook or YouTube.
You get to see all of our lovely faces and all of our crazy facial expressions.
Yes. And then I jump in randomly
this weekend. Also, this weekend we have our watch party. We're exchanging all of our evidence.
Yes. So the boys and I did an investigation at the Yorktown Memorial Hospital that I've been talking about like relentlessly since we did it because a lot of great activity was caught. And we're gonna review our evidence tomorrow, which is gonna be cool. I mean, it's gonna be freezing balls. You know, it's gonna be freezing balls though. That's my only thing is like, I don't know if I want to be out in the weather.
You know, just come here. We'll have a pizza party, review the footage. I'm not too pumped about going to the tunnels, but hey, if we go, we go.
Well,
I know
I have to work.
so,
I have to work tomorrow night. So the plan was, this was the original plan was we were going to review footage, and then Corpus has an underground tunnel system that has been closed for years. Like it has not been used. I can't tell you. I mean, before I was born was the last time these tunnels were used. So we have access to these underground tunnels, and they are supposedly extremely fucking haunted. Well, I don't get to go because I have to work tomorrow night. So the guys are planning on going and, you know, doing a preliminary search of these tunnels to see if they find anything. And I'm going to be really pissed because I've never missed an investigation. Never. I have never missed an investigation. And I fucking bet that you guys are going to get all kinds of crazy shit going on. And I'm just going to be at work pissed.
Yeah.
I say that's what's going to happen is because you're not.
Because exactly. Because I didn't go. And that's why I never miss them. And, you know, anytime they're like, oh, well, this is go. Fuck, let's go. I'm fucking down. Like, let's fucking go. So, but also this week, I got a really cool picture from somebody that was claiming that they took a selfie of themselves with their daughter. And in the background, I wish I could pull that picture up, but I don't have it. But if in the background, you see what looks to be like a Hispanic girl kind of in the background, just kind of looming over them. But there was nobody else in the house. There was nobody else in the house. It was a blank wall. She states it was a blank wall. There was no picture, no nothing. And she did claim that there was other stuff going on in the house. So I'm excited to speak to the roommate that still lives in the house. So that way he can give us permission to do an investigation there as well, because there was tons of activity, tons of supposed activity going on. But this picture is just a little piece of evidence. You know, at least we have some kind of evidence to go on before we go in there. And then I have a police officer buddy of mine looking up to see if anybody's ever died on the property. So, you know, we like to get a little thorough with our investigations. So, but Jumping into the topic of the night, the Jersey Devil. Is the Jersey Devil real? Is it some creature born of Satan, a cursed child, some type of cryptid? The people who believe they've heard his blood-curdling screams in towns near the Pinelands would tell you at least one of those descriptions is true. According to urban legends, the Jersey Devil has roamed the Pinelands for centuries. Some call him the protector of the Pinelands. Many have told stories of encounters with the Jersey Devil on dark nights in the wilderness of the Pines. But is there any truth to these claims, or is it some kind of hysteria taking place in the Pine Barrens? So the first thing I want to say is, before there were ever any reports of encounters by people in our history, and by our history I mean America's history, there were Native Americans that roamed that area, and they were the Lenni Lenape. And there was a creature that I didn't see if it stalked them or if it was just some kind of like creature that lived in the woods called the Hapuse, which translated to land of the dragon. So the description that they had was very similar to what people say the Jersey Devil was. So there are reports even far back than before the Jersey Devil of a very similar creature. So that leads me to believe that maybe it's some kind of supernatural entity that gained a physical form through being born of Mother Leeds, who we will discuss later. What did you find, Bobby?
Well, I know, like, just from growing up in Jersey, that was the top story to tell. Literally, if any legend in Jersey, that is the top one. So I've read more stories of the blood-curdling screams than actually more of seeing something. If they saw it, they literally saw the tail end of what you could describe as part of the Jersey Devil.
No.
I know the early history of the Pinelands was the soil there is very poor. You really can't grow anything there. So you really had to rely on a lot of things, and it's desolate. To say it's miles and miles, literally, of pine trees. When you drive through it, because there's a main highway that goes through it. It's pitch black. Like, you literally look side to side, all you see are literally the walls of trees. And I think you couldn't even go 2 feet in, even with a flashlight. And it's pretty fucking dark. Like, it's like this. So it's the perfect spot for this kind of a legend. And the fact that it goes back before what we all know is actually makes it more terrifying, because it's like, it might have been here before, so now it took a form later on.
Yeah. Because before, any description that I had of the Jersey Devil, to me, it seemed more like of a cryptid kind of animal,
Yeah.
And then after reading about the Lenni Lenape and the Hapuse, it led me to believe that it may have been something that was originally supernatural, in whether it was a demon or, some kind of spirit of the woods or something. And it ended up taking a physical form because of words that were said on a dark and stormy night. And then boom, we have the Jersey Devil. So I'm just going to read a little bit more here, because, I did look it up on Wikipedia and a bunch of other sites. Like, I went down like the rabbit hole of the Jersey Devil, and it was, I watched documentaries on anything that I could find. I was, because I really wanted to be very knowledgeable on this subject. So in southern New Jersey and Philadelphia folklore, the Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of South Jersey. The creature is often described as a flying biped with hooves, but there are many different variations. And that's, before the show started, that's what I was saying. I saw that one image of him where he was just like a tiny little like gnome creature with like a devil.
He looks like a circus act. Literally.
Yes, like a circus. And to me, that is more frightening. I guess like a humanoid form for me is more frightening than some kind of animal creature, you know?
I agree, because if a human mixed in, it makes it seem so much more haunting, because it's like, oh, it hits home because it has some of us.
Exactly. You know, like it has that like it can think like a human. You know what I mean?
Like the thing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, like I said, that picture freaked me out a little bit more than any of the other, camel with horns and wings creature that I saw. Um, so the common description is that of a bipedal, kangaroo-like or wyvern-like creature with a horse or goat-like head, leathery bat-like wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, legs with cloven hooves, and a forked tail. It has been reported to move quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. And that is how everybody that has had an experience, that's literally all I kept seeing was a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. That is how they described it.
That's insane.
Steven, I'm sending you a quick picture.
Okay.
Because I think this is probably the best depiction of the devil himself we are talking about right now. It should be coming to you.
That's crazy, because right before this podcast, I was watching that Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Yeah.
And the description of that scream, there was a guy filming. I wish I would have paid attention to like where it was. It was in the United States, but he was filming towards the woods. You just hear blood curdling scream, and he didn't want to go near the woods. He's like, nope.
Yeah, they say
that's what it sounds like.
They say the scream is like it's almost like they say when a certain animal has a certain scream, they say if you were to hear this, you would instantly be like, that's not an animal that we know.
Yeah.
Like, so you would be like, if you're me, what is it? Let's go see. If you're someone else, it's like, I don't want to know what it is. It is that bad.
Yeah. See, now this picture that you sent me, it looks, I mean, this is the first time I've seen it look like this, where it has like the longer arms. Cause even this is more humanoid than the actual like old school drawings that I found of him. Like this would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
This, like, to me, this looks like kind of pumpkin head with horns and wings. It's what he kind of looks like to me in this picture that you sent to me. That's the best way I can describe him. I mean, but that would be fucking terrifying to see in the woods. The older pictures that I saw, and you can get on Google and just Google Jersey Devil, and you'll see the pictures that I'm talking about. It's the first ones that pop up, and they're all hand drawn. And if I saw something like that in the woods, I mean, would I be freaked out? Yeah, but I would think it was an animal more than I would think it was something that was going to
supernatural.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it'd be like the leprechaun took a new form.
There you go. It could be that too. So, Mother Leeds. You want to take this one, Bobby?
Sure. Hold on. My thing went away here.
So, while Bobby gets his notes up, Mother Leeds is the most well-known version of this story. And I mean, damn, if this is what took place, it's kind of fucked up.
Would you like to hear how fucked up?
Let's do it.
So Mother Leeds. According to the popular folklore, the Jersey Devil originated with a Pine Barrens resident named Jane Leeds, known as Mother Leeds. The legend states that Mother Leeds had 12 children, and after finding that she was pregnant with the 13th time, cursed the child in frustration, crying that the child would be the devil. In 1735, Mother Leeds was in labor on a stormy night. A shocker there. While her friends gathered around her, born as a normal child, the 13th child changed to a creature with hooves, a goat's head, bat wings, and a forked tail. Growling and screaming, it beat everyone with its tail before flying up the chimney and heading into the pines. And so the Jersey Devil was born. In some versions of the tale, Mother Leeds was supposedly a witch and the child's father was the devil himself. Some version of the legend also state that there were subsequently an attempt by local clergymen to exorcise the creature from the Pine Barrens. That
So,
right there is a load of exposition for it.
yeah, and there was also some other things that I found too. It's the same story, except instead of Leeds, the last name was Shords. Now,
Yeah, there was. I think the Shords was before the Leeds, somehow intertwined. I'm trying to remember.
apparently the Shords were the neighbors or something that lived across the land from the Leeds, and so the stories would get mixed up. Was it the Shords or was it the Leeds? But it just ended up taking on that the story was the Leeds. Also, there was another version of the story where Mother Leeds cursed the child before ever getting pregnant. Before she ever got pregnant, she said, it wasn't when she found out she was pregnant. It was before she ever got pregnant. She said,
yeah,
if I have a kid, it's going to be the devil. So on the night that the child was born, it mutated and it killed the midwife, because the midwife and Mother Leeds were the only ones in there. It killed her and then took off out the window. So,
and then in some other ones, it says that it killed everybody.
Yeah.
And then in some, it says it maybe have only killed a few children, with obviously the mother. And then also, instead of the father being the devil, that he was a drunk, which I've read more of that version than a version of him being the devil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
I mean,
to me
it would
actually make it more creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I also read too that the strange thing was she never had any miscarriages for having 13 kids. Even nowadays, that is unheard of, never having any miscarriages. And she had, back in those days in the 1700s, no miscarriages and having 13 kids. So
that's crazy. Like, why? I mean, I know back then there was no condoms or anything like that, but man, you got to do something. 13 kids.
Hey man, there was no TV.
It's a devil, but
yeah, that's what they always say. There was no TV.
True.
There was no TV. There was no internet. You're hanging out in the woods with your wife. I mean, go play outside, kids. How you doing? Right. I mean, you ain't got much to do, so you might as well do it. You know what I mean? So, Joe, you want to take the facts about the Leeds family?
I do not have my notes with me, unfortunately.
You son of a bitch. I know. It's cool. I'll read it. It's cool. You failed me. That's why you're the rookie.
I did. I did.
It's cool. It's cool. So, facts about the Leeds family. Prior to the early 1900s and before the series of reported sightings of creatures during 1909, the Jersey Devil was referred to as the Leeds Devil or the Devil of Leeds, either in connection with the local Leeds family or the eponymous, I don't even know what the fuck I wrote there, Southern New Jersey town Leeds Point. I was at work. I mean, I wasn't at work on the clock doing this, but during my lunch is when I put this together, and I was looking up big words and stuff. And
it's okay to say a few words. Don't worry.
I was like, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. You're using big words. You want to be professional, and I still fucked it up. Whatever. Fuck it. It's my podcast. I do what I want.
Exactly.
So Mother Leeds has been identified by some as Deborah Leeds on the grounds that Deborah Leeds' husband, Japhet Leeds, named 12 children in the will that he wrote during 1736, which is compatible with the legend. Deborah and Japhet Leeds also lived in Leeds Point section of what is now Atlantic County, New Jersey, which is commonly the location of the Jersey Devil story. So by the late 1700s and early 1800s, the Leeds Devil had become a legendary monster or ghost story in the southern New Jersey area. Into the early mid-19th century, stories continued to circulate in southern New Jersey of the Leeds Devil, a monster wandering the Pine Barrens. An oral tradition of Leeds Devil monster ghost stories subsequently became established in the Pine Barren area. So you got to think, when something takes off like that, there has to be some kind of fact behind it.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be with all these eyewitnesses accounts, and there's got to be some credibility behind it. Well, whether it's what people are describing or something completely different. I mean, there's something out there that people have seen, heard of, that they can't explain. So I mean, there's something.
Yeah.
whether it's the people too. I mean, the last name Leeds. It makes you want to do that. The lookup of, was there someone by the name of Leeds, which I think, and obviously there has to be, due to, I mean, people have dug deep, as you have here, Steve, with this story. 9 times out of 10, the name Leeds comes up. It's very rare that it doesn't. So that's definitely got to be a fact. And the fact of where this could or did take place in the Pine Barrens. There's no other place that looks like that.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been to Jersey once, you know, when I went to the opening of the Blairstown, you know, museum for Friday the 13th. And that's the only time I've ever been on that side of the country. You know what I mean? And even driving to Blairstown, you know, it for me, because, you know, I'm in Texas, we don't have trees like that. You know, it's not, it's a, you know, people who travel know, you know, when you're in a certain area, there's certain structures of vegetation and stuff. And, you know, Texas is mostly dirt and, you know, brush. You know, we have places that have, you know, oak trees and stuff like that. But driving from I was in Jersey City to Blairstown, you know, it was like, whoa, like
Jersey has a nice combination of like 3 different types of ways of living, I guess I could say.
Yeah.
So like in the middle where I'm at, you could see a little more suburban and such. Now, if you go more north, where you were for Blairstown, green.
Yeah.
Like that is legitimate green. Like that, even the North Jersey, like where my relatives live, it's green. Now, if you go south, it's a lot more farms. It's a little more open. So you literally get like almost 3 different types, even more throughout the state. So it's like you got green up here. The Pine Barrens are down here. You know where you are sometimes without even knowing you're there. You're like, we're not in where we're supposed to be anymore.
And see, that's what I was going to ask too. Like, where are you located in conjunction with where the pines are?
So if you look at the state of Jersey, I'm literally central Jersey. Like I'm right smack in the middle. I think the Pine Barrens, since it's Atlantic County, and I know Atlantic City is about 2 hours away from me, so probably about the hour and a half mark, I want to say, is where it is. I've driven through it, like I said, a few times, because we used to go to Atlantic City for a car show. And yeah, the Pine Barrens are, even during the day, very weird, very unique looking too. But at night, there's no lights. There's no street lights. There's nothing in there. Like I said, unless you live in one of the towns on either side, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So again, if you hear something, there's not too many other things in the Pine Barrens that's going to make you go, oh shit. Unless you have a fox hiding in there, that's it.
Yeah.
So sounds like we need to go scuba.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and that's what I was saying.
We should do it.
Yeah, that's what I was, I was telling Bob, I was like, I would fucking love to go and just fucking walk in the goddamn Pine Barrens and see if, I mean, I'm not trying to conjure any shit up, but if we can, if we can and we can get it on camera, I mean, hell, that's our shot at the Travel Channel or Discovery Channel. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. We will be on our way.
All 3: Travel, Discovery, and Plus.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's what I'm
National Geographic.
About. Yes, and National Geographic, when we get real proof that this son of a bitch is real. So there have been many claims of sightings and occurrences involving the Jersey Devil. Sightings occurred and the legend grew, fueled by animal attacks, strange footprints, and reports filed by eyewitnesses who supposedly encountered the beast. Now, have you, living in Jersey, I know this is like a y'all's claim to fame creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you ever
the Garden State?
Well, besides being the Garden State, but you know what I mean? This is your cryptid supernatural thing. Texas has, we got Goatman Bridge, we got we got lechuzas, we got chupacabras, we got a bunch of different stuff, but we don't have really something that we can say, oh, that's a Texas creature. You know what I mean? We don't have that.
We got a Jersey creature here.
Yeah, you got the devil.
Me, myself, I have never had an encounter. unfortunately. But all the encounters we have here, I have read plenty of stories because they're in the Weird New Jersey books and everything. So, I mean, what I want to know is I want to be in those people's eyes that have seen this, because
Yes.
what is it you saw? I can only read what you wrote. But
Yeah.
if I saw, like you're saying, I saw a hoof above my car and it was flying away, like, I don't know whether to not believe you or to believe you with all my heart, because
Now, my question would
it's
be,
hard.
how much fucking meth did you smoke before you saw this?
Who,
That would be my first question. And
That
Yeah,
sounds
that's too.
more of a,
No,
more
I'd
of a
be like this.
mushroom thing.
I'd be like, what did you snort?
what did you snort?
Did you
What did you eat? And if they say nothing, okay, cool. Let's
No,
continue.
you're forgetting one question. Who did you fuck? Did you mess up your
Who-
mind?
Who did you fuck? Do you have the gonorrhea? Is there some weird shit going on in you right now? Is there syphilis? Do you have syphilis? Because syphilis will make you fucking go crazy, right? Yeah. So you gotta find out. So I did, like I said, I did as much research on this as I could. I went to a bunch of different websites. I cross-referenced shit, and I found a lot of the encounters were the same. A lot of the stuff that got reported was the same. Like it was very, very eerie that all of these reports that, and they're different reports, but everything that I found that was reported on a sighting of the Jersey Devil and all of these websites that I went to, they all matched up, so all of the experiences these people are having, whether it be some kind of mass hysteria that took place or a story that just got out of hand, which, I mean, I can kind of see that, because if you think about it, look at nowadays, okay? Look at these creepy pastas, Slenderman.
Oh,
We know Slenderman isn't real. We know Jeff the Killer isn't real, but he has taken on this
cult
ego,
real
this
status.
cult following. Exactly. So could that have occurred back in those days also? Way before internet was a thing, way before TV was a thing. They had no form of entertainment, but did it start off as a lie? Hey, Jafet.
Like that movie, The Village.
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go. That's a perfect example of this.
It's like, hey, Jafet, what happened to your 13th kid? I thought your wife was pregnant. What happened? Oh, well, what happened was he turned into a fucking devil and he fucking flew away.
Ran away.
Or
He didn't want to say he dropped him and he died.
or did these people exactly? No. But that's what I was getting to. Or did this child die?
Mhm.
Or they didn't want the child to begin with? Did they murder this child, bury it, and come up with some fucking elaborate story to cover it up? And then it just
Yeah,
kind
'cause
of fucking
12,
blew
12
up.
kids is fine. 13, one too many.
Well, I mean,
That's also unlucky too.
yeah, well, I mean, and you got to think too, back in those days, they had a lot of kids too, because they needed the help with chores.
On
They
the
needed the help
farms,
with, so it was understandable to have a fuckload of kids. My grandma came from a family of 10, I think, and she was born in 1929. So, even back then they had a lot of siblings and stuff, but.
And as much of like I said before, the Pine Barrens, the soil wasn't rich, but like you said, with farming, yeah, you still needed plenty of things to do. So to have that many kids, understandable, but it's still one of those things of what 12? What was it only one and they made 12 up?
Yeah, that I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are tombstones at the cemetery that have the lead's name on it.
That's true. That is true.
So we do know that this family actually existed. We do know that this family actually had 12 children. But did Mother Leeds snap?
Maybe
More
That's
realistic,
possible.
more realistic scenario that I didn't see and this just popped in my head. Did Mother Leeds snap? She never wanted this child. She did not want this child. But She has the child. She snaps, has postpartum depression, kills the baby. They get rid
that
of the
could be
body.
another possibility.
You know,
Absolutely.
and you know, good old Japhet didn't want his wife to get in trouble, you know, and they just covered it up. So who knows? We don't know. You know, that's just my theory that, you know, but it could be anything. I like the supernatural aspect of this. Like I said, I'm not really for the cryptid as outlook on this, because it just, to me, it just kind of takes away from the Jersey Devil name, you know, because when I think devil, I think supernatural. I think, you know,
Plastic mask.
I agree with you as well. I think I love the supernatural part of it as well, but I also like the I always did monster aspect.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, and this was made into a movie, this Legend, although it's terrible, I will not recommend it. It's terrible. I always wondered what kind of a movie you could make with this.
You know,
But
Look in the chat.
wait, okay,
Bowser?
so TJ put the Barrens 2012. A man takes his family on a camping trip in the New Jersey Pine Barrens and becomes convinced they are being stalked by the Jersey Devil. Currently free on Tubi. Shameless plug right there for Tubi. Sponsor me.
But now I want a movie of the beginning of this legend, and a cat.
Joe's always,
Ladies and gentlemen, free pussy.
Joe's always got
Right,
the pussy all over him.
Achilles.
He's such a pretty boy. He's such a pretty boy.
That face was so cute. But I want a movie of this thing being born, and I want a movie of not a hokey looking thing. I like,
Yeah.
Like the picture
Like-
you sent me. That would be
Yes.
superb. That would be superb. You know, because even if the whole movie took place in the 1700s, I'd be okay with that. I don't need to see nowadays, because for me, whenever there's a movie like that that starts off showing the origin story, like La Llorona, Curse of La Llorona,
yes.
the beginning of that movie was so great because it stuck to the legend of La Llorona, you know, and being Hispanic, and, you know, even Joe can attest to this because he's, you know, we adopted him as a Hispanic. So, you know,
And
La
I married a
Llorona,
Hispanic.
and he married a Hispanic. So he knows all about La Llorona. And that is like literally one of the things that our fucking grandparents and our parents would tell us to fucking scare the shit out of us to go to sleep and to behave, you know. So seeing the way that that movie started was everything that we heard in the legend, how she fell in love. And I would have been okay if the movie was that entire segment of just her falling in love, everything she was that was going on, the man wanting to leave, but she killed her children. And then at the very, very end, you see her come back as a ghost. I'd have been okay with that. I would have been a lot happier than having this flash forward. And then, you know, what was in the 70s or whatever the fuck, whenever 60s, whenever the future part took place.
It was something along those lines.
But I hate when flicks do that, because usually that beginning part is so fucking awesome and so entertaining. And I love history. I love fucking history. So then when they come to nowadays, and then you have these, you know, fucking Gen Z teenagers that are like, oh my God, Stacy, you know, and fucking they get killed by this fucking, you know, it's like, fuck, man. Like,
See,
I fucking
for
hate it.
me, I'm the opposite. I want to watch this thing tear them to shreds.
Well, yes, tear them to fucking shreds, but tear them to shreds in the fucking 1700s. Then fucking give me a part 2 that's just as good as part 1 that takes place nowadays. You know what I mean?
The part 1 that I'm thinking, like when we watch this thing being born, a little side note into the side note, in TJ will appreciate this, and in the director's cut of, or the work print of Jason Goes to Hell, you see the little baby demon
Yeah.
first, and it goes out of frame, and then you see it grow into this, will start to grow into this massive hulking thing we all know as Jason. That's what I would want to see with this.
Yes,
to watch it come
exactly.
normal.
Yes.
And then it starts to transform, and it gets the horns, the head, and then you don't see it for a bit, and then it comes back and is like almost nearly full-fledged. Like,
Yes.
this has been vivid in my head for Years, easily years.
Anybody that is watching this, you are not allowed to use this idea unless you pay us.
Right?
And if you do, pardon my French,
10%.
fuck you up.
Yes.
20%. We get 20%
20.
apiece.
There you go.
Yes. I'm good with 10%. I mean, it's just
No,
my show.
20.
It's your idea.
Shoot high.
It's your idea. I just want 10% for it being brought to the public on my show.
I just want to be on the red carpet. That's all.
Oh, this is better than Discovery Channel. Thanks. I wish we had the Discovery Channel money. That'd be great.
Oh,
that'd be great.
That would be lovely. So
yeah,
we have some stories. Well, you have some encounters. I also did look up. I found like 3 full stories. If you wanted to get into some of those as well as you're going through these.
Yeah, we can go through these. Let me go ahead and start off with talking about a couple. And if you want to interject, go ahead. So the first 1740, an unnamed clergyman. Okay, so this is 1740. This is the farthest back other than the Lenni Lenape tribe that I could find. In 1740, an unnamed clergyman is said to have performed an exorcism on the land to protect livestock from the Jersey Devil for 100 years. Although there were sightings, of the creature, still, the creature was said to be minding its own business. So the creature was still there. There were still sightings, but it wasn't attacking livestock like it had been. And this lasted for a few, for 100 years, because then in 1840, fast forward 100 years, which we'll talk about here in a bit because there's some more sightings, shit started fucking off again. You know what I mean? And then in 1812, while visiting the Hanover Mill Works to inspect his cannonballs being forged, Commodore Stephen Decatur sighted a flying creature and fired a cannonball directly upon it to no effect. So there was this creature, it popped up. They were there just happened to be standing by a fucking cannon, and they loaded the fucking cannon and they fired a cannonball at this creature. And the way he described it was the description of the Jersey Devil. He fired the cannon hit the beast. The beast just said, "Fuck you," and flew away. So what the fuck? Now, could they have missed? Probably. It's a fucking cannon. And it didn't say how close the beast was, but
this is true.
So I don't know about that one. But then in 1820, Joseph Bonaparte, who was the older brother of Napoleon, is also claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil while hunting on his Bordentown estate. He attempted to shoot the creature, but it just flew off. So after, everything happened with Napoleon, he was exiled, whatever. Joseph came to, our side of the country and lived in Bordentown, and the people loved him. Like, they admired him. He was very loved. He let people come on the land and stuff. Like, he was a very, very well liked person. But there are also reports that the ghost of Joseph Bonaparte also still haunts the grounds where his property was, still hunting the beast that he saw that day. So there have been reports that people have seen his spirit out there walking around hunting. So
see, now that would work perfect in conjunction if we were to go there too.
Yeah,
that would work perfect with this, because now say his spirit's there, say that brings out whether it's a ghost or whether it is an actual thing to the woods.
Yeah. And there was also something else, something about pirates. There wasn't a lot on it, so I didn't throw it on here, but it just popped in my head right now. Something about a pirate that would go and hide his treasures there off the coast, and every time he hid something, he would kill a crewmate so that the spirit would protect the treasure, so that nobody could ever get the treasure.
Yeah, this one, I heard this as well, because apparently not only was the Jersey Devil in the Pine Barrens, he went to the coast for us here, but he also went into part of Pennsylvania too.
Yes.
Especially like right up. I think he was. It was talked that he went up to Bucks County, up and down that nice region down.
Yeah. So there have been reports also that people have seen the Jersey Devil on the coast walking side by side with a pirate spirit.
How much were they drinking at the beach?
The rum was all gone. You know, the rum's always gone.
I got the dirt.
So after that, now the shit show's about to begin because 1840, the curse or the exorcism that the clergyman did, it's done. 1840, 100 years later. And after that 100 years, I guess nobody fucking remembered, hey, we should probably re-up on this exorcism and, you know, keep shit.
About to expire.
Yeah. So the Jersey Devil was blamed for several livestock killings. Similar attacks were reported during 1841, accompanied by tracks and screams. Here we go with the screams. So now people are starting to hear this blood-curdling scream throughout the Pine Barrens. Livestock is coming up missing. Livestock is getting killed. They're finding really weird tracks, you know, and the creepiest part was that the tracks that were being found, it wasn't 4 tracks. It was two hooves, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, you know? So whatever this was, if it would have been a horse, the tracks would have been different, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But being, you know, the hoof tracks that they found, it was only 2, you know? And so the way this thing was moving, it's just weird, you know? So they do have real evidence that occurred, you know? So could it have been a hoax? Yeah. Could Farmer Johnson could have been like, I'm gonna fuck with these motherfuckers because my horse just died, and you know, let's try to get some money.
Yeah.
You know,
but there's not too many things with hoofs that are 2 legs. I actually can't even think of one.
Nothing that's real.
Yeah, nothing that's real.
Yeah.
Like so,
nothing that isn't in like mythology.
If you give me, you could give me 3 hoofed animals right now, but they all have 4 legs that they have to walk on.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's like,
I don't see a 2-legged horse living or a 2-legged deer living that long, even if it learned to fucking walk.
No,
you know,
it's sad to say no, but again, what does?
Yeah, exactly. So then fast forward, the devil craze of 1909, shit gets out of hand. And when I'm talking about out of hand, people were fucking going insane. There was fucking like mass hysteria going on in 1909. Fucking. So what occurred was January 16th through the 23rd, newspaper reports were being published with over 100 claims of encounters with the Jersey Devil from all over the state and as far away as Delaware and the western Maryland. The widespread reports created a panic and prompted school closings throughout the Delaware Valley. So people so fucking scared of this thing, they closed schools down. Like, that is hard for me to believe because I work in a school, you know? So if there was something like, for example, the clown scare that we had a few years back, about 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, that was
that was hilarious.
I had students that were seriously scared that a clown was gonna fucking be waiting for them out. Like, these poor kids were traumatized. And I'm like, really? You're fucking scared of clowns? Like, I grew up with It and Killer Clowns from Outer Space and fucking like
you got them beat.
Like, are you kidding me? You're scared? Like, dude, come on, man. And so I can see where even today mass hysteria could cause something to that effect. And especially back in those times when news just traveled word of mouth. You know what I mean? So if somebody saw something, they told somebody else, and then it made it to the newspaper. So all these people had already heard about this. And so when it got to the higher ups, then people start freaking the fuck out. And they're like, oh shit, this fucking devil that's flying around is going to kill everybody. You know?
It's like the game of telephone. One person said it. Next
Yes.
person said it, but then it got exaggerated.
Exact.
And
Yes.
so on and so
Yes.
on. So that craze is probably one of the most talked about portions of this story as well. Because literally that 2 weeks was like, holy shit. Like you said, schools? Who? If the Jersey Devil appeared in a school today, you'd have a SWAT team there and you'd be at school the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know that a SWAT team would pull up, but I know there'd be a lot of cell phones. There'd be a lot of fucking cell phone videos of this son of a bitch.
Yeah, it would be like this. Mom, I'm not going to school tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because everybody would be recording this shit and we would have like the best footage of supernatural shit ever. And
then there'd be teams of counselors coming in the next day to talk to the kids.
Oh yeah, because
what did you really see, Jimmy?
Tell me
how you feel.
Tell me how the monster hurt you.
He touched me here.
Fucking Gen Z. That's all I'm saying. And if you're Gen Z and you're watching, I don't give a shit.
Get over it.
Stop it. That's all I'm saying. Fucking stop it. So, moving on, December 1925 in Greenwich, a local farmer shot an unidentified animal as it attempted to steal his chickens, and then photographed the corpse. Afterwards, he claimed that none of the 100 people he showed it to could identify it. So my only issue with that story, you hit this motherfucker with a cannonball, nothing happened. He was shot before, nothing happened. I don't think it was a Jersey Devil that killed this man's chickens. Maybe like
unless it had some good identifying marks as to an animal that was big enough.
Yeah,
I know they would say bears would live in the Pine Barrens, but you would know if a bear attacked something because it'd be a distinctive mark.
Yeah.
So if the Jersey Devil attacked, say, one of your animals, the mark it would leave, I'm sure, would not be small, and it would not look like claws. It would look more like probably digs.
Well, see, and the size, because I'd like to think the Jersey Devil's pretty big. You know, I don't see it as like a 3-foot creature.
I go with like an 8-foot hulking mass.
Yeah, that's what I go with. So I'm sorry, but if this thing was gonna eat your chickens, there'd be nothing left of your fucking chickens. You know,
you wouldn't have time to shoot it. They would have already been gone, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would just be glad they're going after my chickens and not me.
Oh yeah. Well, see,
well,
see, there's another thing that I forgot to mention, and I'm glad you said that, because there was also reports that the Leeds family, up until the last member of the original family died, they were feeding the child and keeping it under wraps, essentially. So what if instead of that exorcism working, them feeding and telling other generations, oh, you got to feed this thing, you got to feed it, kind of like Texas Chainsaw, how they had Leatherface and kind of like that, keeping it a family secret.
That like right there is your second movie.
There you go. There, see, oh, damn it. We need to.
Anybody who uses this, I swear.
Bring us in as
Melody, Sarah, you in the comments over there. No.
Remember, they
bring us
20%.
in. Bring us in as consultants. We have ideas for days, and we will make you. If you can pull off the ideas, we will make some fucking money. That's all I'm saying. We want
names in the credits, 10%, and houses. That's it.
Ooh, yeah, I'm down with that. I am down with that, and hookers and cocaine, but that's for later. That's for later.
Double the cocaine and hookers.
Yes. So July 27th, 1937, and what I noticed is there was gaps. There's a lot of sightings, but they're well spread out, So July 27, 1937, an unknown animal with red eyes was seen by residents of Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and was compared to the Jersey Devil by a reporter for the Pennsylvania Bulletin of July 28, 1937. So they saw red eyes. They said it resembled the Jersey Devil. But you know what has red eyes and resembles the Jersey Devil? If you just see it really quickly with wings, the Mothman. What if they saw the Mothman and thought it was the fucking Jersey Devil?
Well, then does that mean that we get to claim the Mothman as a Jersey thing?
I mean, he's been cited a lot of places, but I mean,
That's true.
Point Pleasant is his home, I guess you would say. They have a whole fucking museum to him, so
That's
I don't
true.
know.
They do. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and they have a huge ass fucking statue. Like, I want to go there one day to see that shit in real life because I would die. That would be
I have
great.
seen that statue. It is pretty wicked looking.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about it, if you saw that at night with the red eyes and the wings, you know, kind of not similar. The features are different, but
Sidebar, Mothman, that statue. Who's to say it's not the real Mothman just, standing there during the day?
Doing the Mannequin challenge.
You know what? Just like the movie Gargoyle or the cartoon Gargoyles from back in the day.
Yes. See, exactly.
Nighttime falls and he's able to fly away and do his thing and protect the world. And that's why we're still alive. Thank you, Mothman. Thank you. Thank you for all your warnings. So 1951, a group of Gibbstown, New Jersey boys claimed to have seen a monster matching the devil's description. That's all I got on that one. They didn't get into detail. The boys were just hanging out and they said, oh shit. They were probably smoking a little bit. It's the 50s.
Probably
Drinking, smoking. I mean, marijuana was back around in the 50s,
Oh, yeah.
So they might have been smoking. Maybe they found some mushrooms in the Pine Barrens and were like, hey, let's eat these and let's see what happens. You never know. 1957, claims of a corpse matching the Jersey Devil's description arose. Turned out to be a hoax. Boo. And that's what pisses me off is when people try to hoax shit or when people try to fake shit, especially being a paranormal investigator. I am 100% serious about what I do. Do I get paid to be a paranormal investigator? No, I don't. But you can ask Joe. Anytime we're sending videos in the fucking group chat, I'm not like, oh my God, it's a ghost right away. Am I not the one trying to find
we always try to find ways to disprove it from being paranormal first.
Yeah.
And
because
if
I don't
there's
want
no other explanation, then we look into it a little bit harder.
Yeah,
and that's what a paranormal expert does. They don't want to just say right off the bat, oh, it's a ghost. No, they want to come up with what can it be.
Yeah, like our buddy Mike, he sent us a video in the chat of like knocking on his door while he's laying in bed. It occurred overnight. I'm like, well, okay, it sounds creepy, but do you have your AC on? When your AC clicks on, it could cause pressure. Your door could move, a little bit, and it could make that noise. All different types of things could occur. So I'm not one to be like, oh my God, it's paranormal. There's been a lot of times where, we'll send videos and I'm like, what do you guys think? And I'll think it's something paranormal, because in my head, I've already gone through all these processes. But then I send it to the guys and they're like, well, it could be this or it could be this. And I'm like, okay, well, your versions make more sense than it being paranormal. So we'll just, back up on it, So I hate it when you see these paranormal groups come out and they're like, oh, we found this ghost or, this and that. And it's something that can easily fucking be debunked,
Oh, yeah.
Orbs. 90% of the fucking time, orbs are dust. Now,
bugs. Yeah.
Are there actual orbs? Oh, fuck yeah. We've caught actual orbs of energy entering us, leaving us. But if it's coming down, doing this number in a little zigzag real slow, it's fucking dust. Or if it's flying around and it looks like a rod, it's more than likely a fucking bug. Now, we did catch rods in one of our photos from the Yorktown investigation. We see this black mass when we're in the chapel and nobody was standing in that section, but there's this black mass forming and you see two rod-like things up top. I don't know what they are and they are illuminated. We did not see that with our eyes. Nothing illuminated while we were sitting in this chapel all in different areas. If this thing would have illuminated the way it did in the picture that I took, we would have fucking seen it,
Oh, yeah.
So I have no fucking explanation for it. Joe's up on the pulpit. Our other guy, TJ, is sitting behind me in the pews. Mike's off to the side, standing in front of Joe. What the fuck was this light? And it wasn't anything that we because we are 100%. We don't bullshit when we go. We bullshit as in joke around with each other, but as far as putting out evidence that is false, we will never fucking do that. Never.
And we have to joke around while we're there, because if I'm just being honest, a lot of times we're scared shitless when we're there. And joking around kind of breaks that up. You're like,
lightens that mood for you.
And Joe scared the fucking piss out of me twice at Yorktown, because you walk into this.
It was not
hospital.
Intentional.
Fuck
not
you.
Intentional.
The second time was intentional.
Second time.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. That one.
So, and I have it on camera too, so I'm gonna put it on like a blooper reel. And I'm walking with our other guy TJ, and we're just walking, and fucking Joe is just there out of nowhere in a fucking door that we had no idea he was going to be at. And I literally almost shit myself. I am 38 years old. I've never shit my pants, but I almost shit my pants. It was fucking bad. And so then Mike and I are upstairs. TJ and Joe wander off. We have no idea where the fuck they are. And Mike and I are standing in front of this fucking dummy waiter, and we're like, what the fuck? And then we hear, or some shit. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, clear as day. We're like, no fucking way. We are like, no, there's no fucking way. And then we hear it again. And we're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Let's think about this logically. We don't know where TJ and Joe are. They're probably on the other side of the wall. Let's go out into the hallway and see where the fuck they are, because they're out there. So we go out into the hallway and we're yelling at these assholes, and they're not answering us. And this fucking cock right here is downstairs in the room below us. He heard us talking through the dummy waiter and has his head in the dummy waiter below going,
oh, okay. That is just fucking hilarious.
Bro.
Oh, when it was so hard not to laugh, dude. Oh my God.
When I tell you, I have never been more scared in my fucking life than I was at that fucking moment. And then relieved at the same time, because there wasn't a ghost fucking moaning at me. Now, don't get me wrong. I do it because I love the fucking adrenaline rush. I love the fucking throw that we made. Like, fucking ghost piss. I didn't know ghost piss was a thing until we experienced fucking ghost piss.
Yeah, that was trippy. That was weird.
I will send you that video, Bobby, and you will fucking understand what I mean ghost piss, because Joe, Mike, and I are in a room. Standing outside of that room is TJ. And he's standing right by a door, and we hear piss. Like if somebody is standing in that room taking a piss.
And there was nothing leaking into the room.
So we go in because we're like, what the fuck was that? And we thought TJ was taking a piss, and he's like, no, I wasn't. And we go in the room, and I find in this box what seems to be piss. It's yellow. It smells. I didn't touch it. But TJ was like, oh, it fucking smells. It smells.
Yeah, you could smell it.
And I'm hitting this thing with my thermal camera, and the heat, it's giving off a heat signature. Oh, and shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm holding the thermal cam, trying to find out where the fuck this thing came from. There's nothing. There is nothing. And then I look up, and there is a section of peeled paint. Okay. And what looks, it's giving off a heat signature. So I'm like, oh shit, whatever this was probably came from there. Let's go upstairs and check it out. Now, mind you, it was raining. Okay.
Okay.
But it was chilly. It wasn't hot.
So
now
the water would be cold from outside.
The water wouldn't have given off a heat signature the way it did. So we go upstairs, and we're looking, and then we realize, oh, fuck, the area we were in did not have an upstairs area. There's no way to get up there. It's roof. So anything that would have been above us, it would have been on the fucking roof. There's no access up there. There's no way to fucking get on that section of the fucking roof. And even at that, who the fuck was going to be up there pouring down hot water or fucking standing on the roof taking a piss in this tiny little fucking hole that,
and let's say, okay, what if it was raccoon? I mean, the odds of an animal, first of all, taking a piss on that roof, slim to none. In that exact spot, I mean, that place is huge. So it's damn near 0% that could happen. So we're like, no, what the hell's going on?
That's
So,
fucking strange.
yeah, dude, it
Like,
was
holy
fucking
shit.
insane. I'll send you the video. I'll fucking send you the video, man. I have it on my phone. It's crazy. So from
Send
the
it to
chat,
me
it
later
says,
tonight. I'll watch it in the
I
morning.
will, and it's short. It's a little short segment. Like it's just a little short clip. It's about a minute long, maybe. So we are asked, are you guys ghost sensitive? So I think everybody's a little sensitive in a sense that, you know, like me, if I walk into, I don't want to say I'm some kind of fucking psychic or some kind of have I seen shit? Yeah. Have I felt shit? Oh, fucking most definitely. Can I feel something is off when I walk into a building or a house? Yeah. I don't want to say I'm sensitive. I just don't like that term, but I do feel shit from time to time that other people don't feel, you know, and I trust my senses more than I do my ghost equipment.
Mm-hmm.
But
Definitely.
there's a lot of times where my ghost equipment will
Detect
match
something.
up. It'll match up with exactly what I'm fucking feeling, you know? So
I call that confirmation.
if you want to say I'm sensitive, I'm sensitive. I'm not Gen Z sensitive, but I am fucking.
I think your sensitivity has to deal with how open your mind is to it.
Yeah.
If you're closed minded,
It's
you're
not
not going
happening.
to see, you're not going to feel, you're not going to, it's not going to happen.
See, and I'd like to think I'm open minded with a lot of different things, you know, especially with paranormal stuff. Like I don't
Mm.
I don't just believe in one type of thing. My mind is very open, so I like to think that that helps a little bit, you know.
Mhm.
So, okay, so number 10 out of 16, The Devil Wanted. In 1960, tracks and noises heard by, near Mays Landing were claimed to be from the Jersey Devil. During the same year, the merchants around Camden offered a $10,000 reward for the capture of the Jersey Devil, even offering to build a private zoo to house the creature if it was captured. So people believed in it so much still in the 60s that they were offering this amount of money to produce the creature so that they could house it.
Well, remember back then, peace and love, man.
Yeah, true that too.
You know,
Let's
so
try
there's
to.
definitely some shit going on there. I mean, $10,000 and to get its own spot at a zoo, basically.
Well, shit, $10,000 in the 60s too. You got to think about that. That's
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, exorbitant amount of money, but the fact that they were ready to get a private zoo to home this thing.
yeah.
What I
That's a
would
money
want to know
maker.
is what I would want to know is maybe get your little census from what would that zoo have to be thinking about this creature?
Hey, Joe Exotic.
It would have to be some like Jurassic World type shit. Like,
With a
you
Joe
know,
Exotic guy.
with a Joe Exotic
Yeah.
guy. That
Tiger
goddamn
King.
Carol Baskins try to rescue the fucking animal. So in 1972, Mary Ritzer Christensen claims one night when she spotted the Jersey Devil on a Green Tree Road. Christensen was driving from Blackwood to Glassboro when she said she saw a towering figure cross the road about 25 feet behind her car. She said the figure was described as standing taller than the average man with thick haunches like a goat and a huge woolly head. She didn't say anything about wings though, so I don't know.
Yeah, the wings the wings are the one body part on this thing that really get left out quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the hooves, the head, and the body, they've all been kind of consistent when people really say, "Oh, I saw it." But the wings, they're always that one thing that's like it's either there or it's not.
Yeah. So 1980, moving into my decade, the Wharton State Forest Chief Ranger Alan McFarlane saw something that both grossed him out and stumped his wild animal knowledge. A brutal scene on the South Jersey farm where a pack of pigs had been killed. He reported that the backs of their heads were eaten and their bodies were scratched and torn. However, there were no tracks surrounding the bodies and no blood on the ground. So, like we said, there would be certain markings that would show this thing was, you know, that kind of creature. This is more along the lines of that, other than, you know, that those chickens that were killed back in the day.
Yeah. And you can't even say for this, I don't even think you could say like bear, because again, you would know.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I would, because a bear would leave tracks, because there's no doubt in my mind.
Oh yeah, and there would be blood. There would be blood everywhere if it was a bear. You know?
Yeah. You would be able to track the bear too. So again, it's one of those things of,
I mean, and that's the 80s. That's when people are a little bit more
aware.
You know, they're more aware. So in the 1988, an Ashbury Park press reporter told the story of a Howell Township resident who claimed to have encountered the Jersey Devil 7 years prior. This eyewitness must have been up close and personal with old JD, because he described the beast right down to its large teeth. So 88, 7 years before, is 81, right after the Strange Deaths. So
when I was born.
So now the problem I have with that one, not to debunk.
Oh no, debunk. That's what we do.
So how close could this person have possibly gotten, and you're not dead?
True that. Because unless
what we said before.
But this thing has never, it has never attacked a human.
That we don't know.
That we know of. It's
that
never
we know
attacked
of.
anybody. Yeah. Could it have killed humans before? Hell, we don't know. People go missing in the Pine Barrens all the time, I assume. You know? I didn't look that up, and I should have. Son of a bitch.
Well, just watch The Sopranos. That's where people bury their dead bodies too. So.
Hey, yeah, that's on HBO, so that's pretty accurate.
Yes, HBO. If it's on HBO, it's real. It's real.
Oh yeah.
So 1993, Forest Ranger John Irwin was driving along the, I don't want to mispronounce that, Mullica River.
Yeah, you're right.
When he saw a strange creature blocking the road ahead of him, he said it was about 6 feet tall with horns and matted black fur. The two stared at each other for several minutes before the creature turned and ran into the forest. Once again, no wings.
Yeah. Mullica River. Yeah, that's is that Mullica Hill? That's Mullica Hill, New Jersey. So that's right down there. So it's right in the area.
Huh. So that's strange too, that once again they left out the wings, you know, because back in the older accounts, the wings were something that were always mentioned, you know, and in the later
it went
accounts,
away.
I mean, and maybe it mutated, or, you know, didn't need the wings anymore. You know,
maybe it's a different creature altogether. Maybe something along the lines of a skinwalker also.
Oh yeah, maybe. So one of the most recent sightings that I found occurred in Gallo Township in October of 2015. Little Egg Harbor resident David Black said he was driving along Route 9 near a golf course when he saw what he thought was a llama walking in and out of the tree line on the side of the road. Suddenly, the creature spread its wings and flew away. He captured the beast image with his cell phone, and the photo went viral. So I had seen this photo before, and it looks like a flying fucking llama with horns. Like, literally, like if somebody fucking superimposed this fucking, like, it's hard to describe. If you look, I put it in the teaser that I did for the show. It's one of the pictures, and it looks like a flying fucking goat is what it looks like, a flying goat. So I don't know.
It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn.
I don't know.
That's the Jersey Devil.
They said it was fucking. They said it was real. Guy took it on his cell phone. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Look at the picture
and tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think. Yes,
I got a couple of little stories here, a little longer than what we had. Mind if I delve in?
Go for it. Take it away.
So this one, I don't have the guy who wrote it, but I'll put it in here if he comes across it. Who knows? It's called "Don't Ever Camp in the Pine Barrens Alone." Spent a lot of time in the Pine Barrens when I was growing up in New Jersey, and I had my share of strange experiences. When I was about 13, I went camping alone near Hampton Furnace. I had a bow with me and went looking for a rabbit dinner about an hour before sundown. Something started following back in the trees. It tailed me back to my camp and circled while I cooked my dinner. This kept up until about 2 hours after dark, and let me tell you, it was one dark night. Here's where it keeps going. I finally decided that my visitor had moved on and crawled into my tent. When I just started to calm down, I heard a foot stomp down right behind the tent. I got out all to jump out when this thing, whatever it was, started screaming. I would compare the volume of the scream to a large truck's horn. I couldn't decide what to do. I had my bow and my knife, but then it didn't seem like much. After several blasts, it stopped. I didn't hear a sound except my heartbeat for an hour. I was sure that if I stuck my head out of the tent, I would lose it. In the morning, I could find no tracks in the pine needles, and to this day, I still don't like sleeping in tents. I'd rather take my chances in the open.
Huh. Interesting. I like
Wow,
that.
how-
I
I'm trying to
like.
think of why he'd rather sleep in the open.
Well, that way you could see.
You could see it.
I guess.
It's not a surprise if you come out of a tent. Like you said, if you lose your head, you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. That was really good.
I got one more here for us.
Let's get it.
So there was a sighting of the Jersey Devil. I was driving up Route 9 in Bayville at around 10 p.m. There were two cars in front of me, and then they were traveling about 35 miles an hour. To the right of Route 9 is a mini mall type building with woods behind it. To the right is all woods. All of a sudden, I saw this big thing running across Route 9. I think we might have heard this story before, but we'll keep going. It looked like one of the classic pictures of the Jersey Devil. It had no tail, no fur. Its ribs showed, and it had a long, odd head with short ears that laid flat. It looked almost 10 feet tall. I noticed it because the first car stepped on its brakes and the second car didn't. When I looked ahead, I saw this thing galloping across Route 9 and straight into the woods. I was not really scared because it didn't register yet. I stopped to mail something in the mailbox about 300 feet away from the main road. I saw a child's shirt, shorts, and one sneaker lying on the ground. I mailed the letter, I ran into my car, and I laid the rubber on the way home.
That's creepy. Just the children's clothes there. That's a creepy aspect to it.
What if this thing can transform like
Well,
a skinwalker?
Here's
Like a
little
skinwalker,
trick
yeah.
here. No one believes her saying it's the Jersey. They say it was a deer, or they're saying to her that was a deer. First of all, it was big and fast. What really was creeping around is that the other two people driving in front of me stepped on their brakes. So they definitely saw it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A deer, if you think about it, as I have encountered deer running across the road in front of me and not nailing them, a deer's not going to like stop, and you could see a deer. Like no matter how quick it is, you'll see a deer. If it was this thing and it was huge, you'll see it, but you're not going to see the whole thing. Because you're never going to mistake a deer unless the deer's a fucking moose from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, you're never going to misconstrue the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody misidentifying a deer, especially in a place that deer are prone to.
Yeah,
cross
to
the
see
street.
deer all
I
the
mean,
time. Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you see deer all the time, you're not gonna say, "Oh fuck," this is what I saw a deer, but it wasn't a deer. I don't know. That's a good one. And it's always Route 9. So I know next time I go to Jersey, I need to drive down Route 9.
Nah.
Yeah, Route 9 will take you to excuse me. Yeah, Route 9 can take you, I think it's all the way down. Because then it transfers over to I think the Atlantic City Parkway. And I think if you take that way, there is a way to get to that road that goes through the Pine Barrens. I think it might be that highway. It's been so long, but it's down in that area. So Route 9 is the place to start. And it does get very wooded as you keep going, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Even Route 18 does.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So when I make my way back to your state, we gotta link up, Bobby. We gotta go do some investigating.
You let me know ahead of time. I'm in. I don't care. I'm in.
Fuck yeah. So Not only does the Jersey Devil appear in this awesome legends that we've just read over, it's also been the basis for movies, books, and even a video game, which I did not know about. It's a computer game about the Jersey Devil. I'm totally going to download it.
Not really great, I don't think.
Well, I know, but I still want to play it. You know, I didn't know there was a video game about the Hat Man until I did research, and I was like, oh shit, the game wasn't that great, but it was still cool to fucking play it. So, well, guys, I want to say that is going to be a wrap for tonight's show. This is actually probably one of the longer episodes of Somewhat Supernatural that we've done. So, Bobby, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, my friend, for being on here with me and discussing the legend of the Jersey Devil. Joe, as always, thank you, friend, for being here. Is there anything that you want to say to our viewers, Bobby? Anything you got coming up? Of course, Gore and more. But you guys are doing something this coming show, so you want to let the people know what's going on?
I'll let them know, but I'm also gonna, let them have a little mystery too. So for Monday, we're doing a little switcheroo. Us boys of Gore and More are doing Comics and Kaijus, and Comics and Kaijus is doing Gore and More. So our movie for Comics and Kaijus is Tremors, and then the comic book is. Steve, help me out. What was it again?
Oh, fuck. I don't remember what the comic book was.
Wait. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I got it right here. Now I remember.
So TJ came up with this great idea of pod swap. So basically...
The Witcher comic, by the way.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes, The Witcher. So TJ came up with this great idea of pod swap to get more promotion for, cross promotion for everybody's podcast. So we're working on something a little different for Somewhat Supernatural. And I don't want to say what we're doing. Just know that if it happens, it's going to be fucking big. And I'm not going to be part of the episode. And that pisses me off. But it's okay. Because the guest that we are trying to have on the crossover episode is going to be, a pretty big guest. But we will have hosting, hopefully, Mixtron. And I'll be hosting his podcast, The Rabbit Hole. So that'll be coming up soon as we can get the guest for Mick on Somewhat Supernatural locked down. That's going to be coming here soon. And just know, like I said, if we can make this happen, which I know Mick can make it happen, man. Mick, those of you guys that don't know, those of you that don't know who Mick Strawn is, IMDb him. Mick Strawn is part of the Project
Street 3 and 4, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, so many more.
So many great films.
Wonderful.
And it's not just horror movies at that. So
he's done so many movies.
Yeah, and his podcast is on Saturdays, I believe. He and TJ have The Rabbit Hole on Saturdays. So be sure to check that out on Project Louder. If you are not following Project Louder on Facebook, do it. You want to hear other podcasts, go to projectlouder.net. We have every single podcast up there. Bowser is very good about putting up podcasts. So every episode of any podcast that is on the Project Louder network, you can go to projectlouder.net, listen to the audio only version if you'd like, or you can go to YouTube. We get the YouTube uploads also, so you can watch the video podcast if you'd like to see our beautiful faces. So also Mondays at what time does Gore More? Mondays at
6:15.
6:15 Eastern time. 6:15 Eastern time. Yes. I know a lot of my people are Central time, so that's 5:15 our time. Which I have made the mistake of, and I show up fucking super late to the show, and I'm like, fuck, my bad, guys. It's happening.
As long as you show up.
Yes. Always. So once again, guys, I want to thank you once again. And all of our viewers, thank you. And thank you for staying active in the chat. That's why I do this show. I love talking to you guys. I love it when you have questions. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and end this episode of Somewhat Supernatural. Once again, I am Scuba Steve, your host with the ghost. He is and Joe. And down there, we got my other brother, Bobby Aimone. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night. Kill you later.
I wonder if I was supposed to email Bowser and let him know. Oh, you know what? I probably should have fucking told him, hey,